Common perception about tribal peoples in the public is that they lived in harmony with nature, but also at the whims of nature. And I think one of the really exciting things we've been learning from the Village Ecodynamics Project is the marvelous adaptability of human societies to the environments in which they dwell. What we're seeing is that ancient Pueblo people shaped the environment to suit their needs in many different and interesting ways. And they also responded in a lot of ingenious ways to the kinds of impacts that they wrought on their environment as a result of their way of life.
Well, we can hope that human ingenuity is going to provide answers to all types of environments that we might experience going forward from today. But examples from the past have suggested that the ways that people have dealt with a rapidly changing environment, or an environment that they were not used to, that they really hadn't seen before, would be by leaving, or by doing something else, but by leaving. And we don't have that option anymore in this global world. Our human population has grown to such an extent that we don't have a place to go. And so we need to understand how people have adapted to environments in the past by staying in place, what sort of technologies they've come up with, and be able to use those to our advantage going forward.
People constantly modify their environments. Human beings are really good at that, and people did that in the past, and people are doing that now. And we are very aware right now of how our environmental modifications are really affecting the Earth. And this is the only home we've got. And so we need to figure out how to deal with that. Looking at how people lived in the past can be kind of terrifying occasionally. If you read these books that have these big doomsday ideas of by overexploiting resources, everybody died, that can give us that same kind of idea that this is what's going to happen to us now. The Pueblo people who lived in the central Mesa Verde area actually had a very great outside option in 1300 AD when they were able to migrate south. That was the way that they dealt with all kinds of social and environmental pressures. And so as a species, as a civilization, we need to figure out how we are going to deal with the pressures that we are creating and that are being forced upon us. What is our outside option going to be? Does that make me a little bit scared? Of course it does. But I think that humans are nothing if not inventive. And I have a lot of faith in the fact that we will be able to come up with new ways to do things. But we also need to keep in mind that in the past, people have faced these challenges, and that sometimes these challenges had incredibly dramatic consequences, and that we might be facing those dramatic consequences too.
What emerges for me from the Village Ecodynamics Project is that human societies are not at the whims of nature, but they do have to respond to the way the world that they live in changes as a result of their own activities and as a result of natural cycles. Pueblo people were amazingly adaptable, dealing with climate cycles and variation in the weather and in changes in the resources that they depended upon over time.